Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's arena time. I'm starting a new run, and next to those guys, I'm just going priest again. Want a better priest run. Just give me all holy champions. The like 4 cost 3/5 that gets +2 every time you heal something. They're awesome. Speaking of awesome, Mind Games is not. Totally random, relies on your opponent to have not crap in their deck, and you have to not get the crap. You have to get something big. There really aren't that many small, cheap spell damage minions, so she's really dubious in a bunch of random cards. And he generates a tremendous amount of stats for 6 mana, so you know what we're picking there. I'm sure I play stupidly when I use this thing, but it's really good. Whereas Mind Blast is Elven Archer is weak, so let's take that. It is potentially strong. Light of Naru's Wormrest Agent is good if you have a lot of dragons, but even then, he's not, like, insanely good. I mean, he's very, he becomes ridiculously good for 2 mana, but he's not that big a swing in the game anyway, so it's not worth it for me to try and get dragons for him. So, Light of Naru is interesting. Like, a free Light Warden's okay. 3 health, although using a 3 health on a minion will usually not get you the Light Warden, so you don't bother, so it's not really... I'm just going to take the Young Priestess. She's fine. You suck. This is put a copy of them into your hand. So, your enemy gets a good minion, put a copy of it in your hand. I think I've got to take this. Because the Repair Bot is fine. The Watchman is craptacular. A little bit better if you're like a mage or something, but even then, not really. Convert? I think we're going to take Convert. I'm sure it's supposed to be Convert. I'm sure one is a verb, one is a noun, but... Micro Machine, Mad Stupid Ass Bomber, or the Refreshment Vendor. I'm not a big fan of Refreshment Vendor, but you know what? Micro Machine can be kind of scary, but he's a 3/5 for 4. That's still like a really good set of stats. This is a little bit more rushy, but as a priest, I might have something that benefits from the healing, and of course I can heal him to keep him so that his largeness is better. I kind of want the huge toad. It's actually pretty decent, but I have to take Holy Nova, obviously. Not even close. Grizzly is not the worst. It's like a little on the weak side. Zombie Chow is obviously Zombie Chow. Is like sort of strong if you get it early on, and later it can backfire a little bit, and maybe something triggers that feeling. I think I'm just going to take the Trog. I don't like this guy that much, but a 2/3 for 2 seems more what I need. Cogmaster sucks unless you have a ton of mechs. Mind Vision, depending on my opponent, to have decent cards. Volcanic Drake, I really want to like the Volcanic Drake. It's kind of fragile, and a bunch of work to get it out. So you're playing it like turn 6 or later, usually, or if you are able to arrange it that you kill it 1 or 2 things, you might get him out 1 or 2 turns sooner. You're really unlikely to get a super cheap Volcanic Drake, unless it's late enough in the game that he's so fragile it doesn't make much difference. That said, he is a dragon. You know what, I'm going to take him in case I get more dragon stuff, because the rest of that row is not very compelling. Well, it's Battle of the Nobilities, guys. I should really take the River Croc, because he fights better. He can hit something, take 2 damage, and I can heal him. I'm going to take the Ice Rager, though, because it's got some crazy offense, and it's not a Magma Rager. It's like, it can survive 1 damage. If you're like a rogue or a druid, do you really want to kung fu or stab your way through this thing? No. Noah's Dormu, piece of crap. You know, we know what I feel about him after that, like, solo adventure. Windrunner is strong. Baron Geddon is so, it's so hard to get good, reliable AoE in the arena, and he's expensive, and he's a little fragile, but that is crazy AoE I just like Baron Geddon better than Sylvanas for most things. I wish I had a Sylvanas for a lot of the, solo adventure stuff, but Baron Geddon, I think, is going to help me win more arena runs. Thoughtsteel or Dire Wolf? I don't have that many minions, but Dire Wolf is really good. On the other hand, Thoughtsteel will get me more cards. Let's take the Thoughtsteel. I pass up on Thoughtsteels too often. Shadow Boxer's kind of cool. I'm not probably taking the Master Jester. Holy Fire would... My deck would be looking kind of slow if I take the Holy Fire, but that's a lot of, like, fire power. And or holy power. I need more, like, early game stuff if I take this, but... And, like, Shadow Boxer is good in theory. It's not the best, although being a mech, it's a mech. Mechs are good. I already have one other mech. I'm gonna take the Holy Fire. It's very powerful. Oh, there's a crap row. Can I, like, trade one of these guys for a Boxer? Damn it. I guess Saboteur. I don't want the Ancient Shade sabotaging me. Saboteur, not great by any stretch of the imagination, but he's there. I'd rather have something with stats itself than the Lance Carrier. For this deck especially, and I don't have that many minions to buff, like small minions and stuff. Guess we're taking the Volcanic Drake again. It's getting a little bit silly here. He is garbager than garbage. Grim Patron, I mean, he can do powerful things, but he can also sit around and be a 5-cost guy that just dies. Mystic is incredibly cheesy. I really want to take the Mystic for the arena because it's so dickish. We'll take the Patron, but he's not going to work out because I don't have like ways to buff him. This is another row. I want all these cards instead of like the last 2 rows or something. Oh my god. The Curator is going to give me a good card, and he's at least a 1/2. Like he's not. He'll almost do something, but mostly he'll give me a good card. He's very good for your pacing if you actually play him second turn. Huge Toad's good for your pacing second turn because he's 3 or possibly 4 damage to your opponent's minions, depending on how he dies. He'd be really good for my deck. This is also super good. I mean, it's an Assassinate that also gives me whatever was worth assassinating eventually in my deck, which mostly isn't that big a deal. Mostly it's Assassinate that doesn't trigger Death Rattle, but that's really good. But my deck's already expensive as hell. This is powerful, but it's not dealing with multiple minions. It's just dealing with a big minion. This would be a minion and a half. Like, he himself is only like half a guy, but gives you like a good one, in theory. The Toad is also pretty good. The Toad fights well for the early game, which I really need that more than I need this kind of stuff, but I can't, like, pass that up, can I? I think my deck's too slow. I can't afford to take this. I took that Holy Fire. That's got to be instead of this for now. Maybe another one will come up later and take that, but no. I gotta now do I take the Curator or the Toad? The Curator is an investment in the future, but he doesn't do much right away. On the other hand, he's going to do more for me late game. If I have 7 mana or something, I can play him and then probably immediately play something that I discover. So yeah, if you have an empty hand and you draw this, he's going to be a lot more useful than a Huge Toad most of the time. In that empty hand situation. Let's take the Curator. He's also, well, they're both new, but he's like a whole lot more interesting than the Toad for his new stuff. Could use cheaper stuff, but I think I'm going to take the stupid healer. Because this guy is cheaper, but he's not good enough. I need cheaper stuff that can fight well. Holy crap. I don't have enough mechs to make Mimiron's head work. It's just an expensive Yeti for me. A mech Yeti, but yeah. I don't have any spells to cast on Idis here other than the Power Word Glory, but she's still a 3/4 for 3, which is useful. I think I've got to take Nefarian, though, because he's like super hardcore. He's gigantic and powerful, but I need more cheap things. This was not a row of cheap things. Oh my god. Mooklos Champion I like way, way better than the Fen Creeper, but my deck has like no taunt, and my deck is super slow. I'm not, like, it'd be awesome to be, like, buffing these guys, but that combo's never going to happen. Statistically, it's very unlikely for that to come up and work and everything else. I think I need the Fen Creeper more because he's actual taunt. Oh my god, the Recombobulator is really good. Like, recombobulating a Volcanic Drake could do great stuff, especially if you got it out cheap. If you spawn an extra Grim Patron and then you recombobulate it into something 5 cost, hell yeah. Especially an already damaged one. You're crap. Light Bomb is hard to pass up, but I have Barongeddon, and I have a Holy Nova, and my deck is just so damn expensive, I think I need the Recombobulator more. It's like, sorry, I gotta take a guy. Speaking of guys, the Bluegill could kill things. I don't have a lot of cheap things to kill stuff, but I really need guys, and this is more just killing something. It's not like stuff. Dark Cultist is stuff. Holy Champion is awesome. Sentinel would be tempting, actually, in the arena. It's very good. And I've actually got dragons, so the Whelp now has a reasonable chance to be a 2-3 for 1, but no, we're taking Holy Champion. Like, kill things. I can't take these guys. My deck is too damn expensive. More curation. So I've got 2 Curators, Young Priestess, Recombobulator, although you don't want to play him early game. Still, he's second turn, he's fine. Stone Splinter, Cultist, the Ice Rager, yeah, Saboteur. Just trying to figure out if I can afford to take him instead of the Shrinkmeister. I think I should probably take the Shrinkmeister, though. This guy is really good, but I think I need the cheaper more, and he still has a pretty good power, even though it's not as good. I don't really like this guy that much. He's not tough, so I can't heal him with my ability. His battle cry is occasionally relevant, but usually not. Like, it's only for 1 turn. If it was just the next time they use it, regardless of what turn, they could make it way less. They could make it like 3 or even 2, and I would like him better, but as it is, it's got to be a really specific timing for him to work out. I don't know. Pilot Teacher costs more. I do have. I don't have that many spells. 2, 3, 4, 5. I do not have a lot of spells. I certainly don't have a lot of cheap spells for her. She's a 3/5 though. That 1 more mana, she is a lot more sustainable than him. I mean, I could take the Ancient Mage, 1 less attack than her, but I do have the Holy Nova and the Holy Fire that could be boosted. +2 spell damage on the Holy Nova would be nuts, or even the +1. He just does not fight as much as her, though. Man. I'm gonna take the Teacher. Mind Blast? Yeah, I think I just need the Loot Hoarder more. This is a slow row anyway. You're trashy. I have like those 2 spells that would benefit, but like not worth it. This could save my butt, so we're gonna take that. That would be okay. Unstable Ghoul would be okay, although I have more cheap stuff now. I think I'm gonna take the Holy Champion because it's a death machine. It's a wrecking ball. It's a wrecking ball machine. Temple Enforcer is very expensive. I think I'm better off. Well, how much fat stuff do I really have now? Okay, I've got Nefarian, Barongeddon, 2 Drakes. Drake's not really that fat for the cost, though. Sky Gold, despite having the same stats, much fatter for the cost. Then Patron, Keeper. Okay. I think I've balanced out my deck enough now that the high casting cost isn't such a big barrier. I think it's actually worth my while to take this guy instead of... Yeti would be another spell for the Violet Teacher. He does come out sooner and is decent sized. He is also quite healable. Kind of want to take the Temple Enforcer, but I think I should just take the Yeti, even though I have no mech stuff. Coliseum Manager. His ability to be healed isn't that helpful when my healing him would just return him to my hand. I'll take the Demolisher. Oh, that was my last card. Those guys did not feel very rare, so it's like slipped past me, but I do have 2 powerful legendary minions, if I live that long. Let's go find out how it's gonna go. We're hoping for second turn Curators and not being rushed down by my opponent, because I don't have a lot of like minion killing stuff. I got no power words. I didn't end up taking the Light Bomb. I wasn't comfortable with the cost of my deck, but that means that now I just have Holy Nova and Barongeddon for AoE. Neither of them... The Light Bomb, like, kills everything most of the time. Or the vast majority of things will die. Barongeddon and Holy Nova, they kill small things. They don't kill everything. Although Baron can kill small things, and then your opponent has to take him out, or he's gonna like start whacking him for 7.
Anduin versus Arena.
You asked for it.
The light shall bring.
Okay, we don't need getting in starting hand. We do like the Shrinkmeister at this stage, and I'm gonna keep the other guys because could get worse. Oh, nice. No, squelch. There. Okay, so I could coin out the Loot Hoarder, which would accomplish very little. I could coin out the Shrinkmeister, and if she casts a single spell, then her guy would be big enough to kill him. Of course, her spell might also just kill him. If I play the Loot Hoarder, she kills it with that. No, I don't think that's gonna work out right. I think I'm gonna coin him out. The Shrinkmeister's battle cry, while really interesting with some priest cards, most of the time is just so circumstantial that I'm not too worried about wasting it. She's got no spell, so I'm gonna get to kill the worm and have him live. Although, then again, he would just die to majory. But you know what? Can't shoot them both. One of them is going to kill your fairy dragon, and the other one you'd spend basically your whole turn's mana shooting it. Doesn't mean it's not worth it, but that's your turn. And time is what I need. I can't convert that because it cannot be targeted. Let's get a card. Oh, I'm glad I didn't heal myself first. That is a pretty good thing to put out on an empty board, especially this early in the game.
Bring me steel.
Well, it's not going to kill him in one shot, although if I attack him, there's a 50-50 chance he'll be dead. You have to find out first, too. Hit him. Nice. Lucky. I could actually power word this guy and start healing myself, but we're not going to do that. We're going to kill him. Play the Holy Champion, who I also love having out when I'm undefended here. That's big. Okay. I got this. Refreshment vendor!
Funnel cakes. Get your funnel cakes here.
Hi.
Does this hurt?
I could have power worded her and she would have got even bigger, but that's too many eggs in one basket. I gotta save that thing. Could put it on something that my opponent cares about, or more likely put it on the refreshment vendor if I don't think he's gonna die. Jouster. So late in the game, it doesn't really matter if you win. In all likelihood. Although it does mean you can survive the Demolisher hit. That's not where the Demolisher is going. Okay. Right. Do I want to convert any of those guys? I don't think so. I mean, I could put him out, but it's not going to work out. No, we're going to... Oh, this restoring 4 health to me, I don't think that's going to trigger her, because I don't need it. So I'm not going to put that out right now. This can only do enemy minions, unfortunately. But if I heal her, I can hit my opponent for a lot. Fortunately, I just can't stop this from killing my stuff.
Does this hurt?
Yeah. There's no point in putting out the power word if I'm at full health. Especially since this is just going to trade for mine anyway. And finish with the Fire Blast. The Holy Champion's like a death machine, though. It is such an amazing 4-cost minion. Yeah, no-brainer play is a no-brainer, but I'm still pretty heavily in the lead here. Yeah, cool. Holy Nova, not needed right now, which is always a crazy situation. Do I want to convert the spider? Because that's actually giving me 2 minions, basically. It would mean not healing something. I think that's pretty good, though.
More training?
I'm going to give her up. I'm going to keep that thing because it's doing damage. I'm going to drop him for an extra, like, intimidation factor. And is it surrender time? Or flame strike time? It's flame strike time. That's sad. That makes me wish I'd healed that guy. Oh well. Fortunately, we have some stuff for the rebuilding efforts, like Tomb Spider. Kodo seems better than the Toad, but I could just play the Toad now. Whereas, well, no, I don't need to, though. I can play the Violet Teacher now. Let's take the Kodo, because it's bigger. And we'll just do that.
Attention, class.
Instant army. So, it may be comeback time, though. She's got more room to work now that she had a Flame Strike. If she had another Flame Strike, she could kill them both. Spending her entire turn again, but, I mean, starting to run me out of cards.
It's getting hot in here.
Okay. You do that. You shoot me for 1, dumbass. Okay. So I can hit her for 6, which is definitely not fatal. I think we want to play the Kodo. Now, if I was able to kill him, I could play this for cheap, but I actually have no way to do that extra 1 point of damage. So, I guess that's not happening.
Instruction begin.
I think just for, like, annoyance factor and for a free 1/1, I'm going to cast Power Word Glory on him. He's not going to die anytime soon. I mean, the fact that I'm at full health means it's not really a deterrent. All it does is prevent her from hitting me with it. Mostly I got a 1/1 for that 1 mana. This would be a pretty impressive comeback, though. You're at 5 and I'm at full, and I have an army. Okay. Okay. Okay.
You win this one.
I do win this one. Holy Nova. One guy finishes off the taunt, the other guy would hit for lethal damage at that point. Okay. Well, that worked okay. I do like having 2 Holy Champions. Whatever else you might say about this deck. 2 Holy Champions, 2 good Legendaries, even if they're super expensive ones. And a little bit of Discover and card draw and stuff like that. There's some potential here. We're just going to see if I can realize that potential. See if I can discover a way to win next time. If you like this, please click the eponymous button. And don't forget to subscribe to Demonac Games for more Hearthstone Arena and other gaming videos.